Rolling On says, I want to ask you an important question. No, important question time is between 3 and 5 in the afternoon on each month, unless the month was 30 days, and that would mean every other month. So today, no important questions. But it happens to be one of those days. Yeah, that's right. It's May 17th. Go ahead. I'm just fooling around. Rolling says, I want to ask you an important question. I'm currently 34 years old, male, USA, originally from India. Do you think it's necessary to have kids as we get old? Do people look back and wish they should had kids? Good question. And he continues, says, I cannot decide if I want kids or not. I'm seeking for some wisdom from you. I'm not sure how we see things in hindsight as we get older. Look, rolling on, having kids is not like it's an item you go buy and have it and put it in your home. Do you have kids? Yes, I have kids. Oh, really? Okay, yeah, good. Now, it's a pathway to a different dimension of life. And you got to be ready for that dimension. It is not a theater to take a role and then go back to your regular self and then come back to stage and be that role and then go off the stage and be somebody else. You are the role all the time. If you want to be a father, you got to be a father full time. You got to be a parent full time. You can't be having a single life and be a parent. I'm a father, but I won't have my own time now. None of that bullshit. You got to clean the diaper. You're going to kiss him or her and love them. They get sick. You got to be there for them beyond anything else. That's the most important one. You got to have your heartbeat beat for them. And you got to make sure they eat before you eat. You set time aside, you go play with them, do homework with them, attend to their school, and back them up and see who is bullying them, or if the school is in the right mind in the way they treat your kid. Is it fair or not? Be able to have proper discipline for them. Never, ever even think of physically punishing them or mentally punishing them. Always gotta have their best interest in mind. Everything about them comes first. You don't matter anymore as much unless you have attended to their needs. You should be willing to be a father and a servant and a guard and a soldier and an educator and a teacher and a coach, and to be able to sit down and talk with them about their emotions and whatever else is happening. Now, are you ready for that? It's not about having a kids. In the hindsight, look back and see if I wanted a kid. It's not about you want a kids. Are you qualified to have a kids? Are you ready to become a servant? Are you ready to become a soldier? Are you ready to become a teacher? Are you ready to become a kid again? To play with the kid, to teach and learn grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, till they go to university. Are you ready to be a parent? That's the question. It's not about should I have a kid or not. It's not a gum you're going to buy. I hope you get the gist of it. That's a decision that you got to make. You're not going to have a kid to listen to you and bow to you and say, yes, Father. No. You're going to be cleaning up after him, singing lullaby and have your heart pound when they're sick. Are you ready to be on guard rest of your life? And are you ready to have the biggest welcoming project accomplishment of your entire life? It's an honor to be a father. It's not a joke. It's a greatest pleasure. It's a dimension of love that there's no other way to experience it. But the question is, are you ready for that level of love in that dimension? And the dedication that it demands, deserves. Then you're ready. Otherwise, live your life the way you have. People look at these things differently. It's something to do for them, an echelon for them, to say that I'm a father, I'm a mother. Or it's something that they wanted it all their life. Or they find themselves that they're willing to sacrifice every breath that they have for that child. Then you're ready. But you will never know beforehand. You may, in a way, be ready and thought about it if you have such conversations that we're having now, but you will know what kind of father you are if you're totally committed to be the father that you can be. Not that I'll just be a father as much as it's once. No, you got to be over that. You got to be a lot more than what you think you can be. There is no question in your mind that he or she comes first. That's your child. You gotta do it yourself, what you expect him or her to do. You can't be telling him to do your homework before you watch TV, but you watch TV. You can't do that. If he's doing homework, you got to be doing something else. You can't be watching TV. You can't be sitting there in the other room or that room. You got to be also doing your work or read something. You can't be telling him, don't have this, don't eat that, but you eat it yourself. You have to be a role model in action, not in command. When you understand all these things, then the answer to your question comes apparent. Otherwise, it never will. All right. Having said enough on that subject, damn you. All right. All right. And Pooja says it's about fathers not being present. Oh, I didn't think there was a question there. I thought you were just telling me how it's done there. In our culture, and most guys are given title of father even though he's just done the biological part and not been present. And women are supposed to take care. Yeah, well, that's unfortunate because that's not the meaning of being a parent. You know, animals do pretty much the same thing, you know. They do the work and then they go, and the female feeds, and pretty much that's it. But I would like to think we're a little bit better than animals, so we like to be involved as much as possible. Traditionally, it's been like that almost anywhere in the world, that men were doing outside work and women were taking care of the children, housework, and so on. But times have changed, and psychology has realized that if you really want to be making a difference and a good impression on the upbringing and the psyche of the child, the husband and wife should stay together, and each should be involved as much as possible, and not just involved, committed to the upbringing of the child, being a role model, being involved and participate as much as possibly they can, individually and together as a family. That's how it should be. Now, the fact that it's not like that there, that's unfortunate. Who just says, I saw you talking passionately about being a father. That triggered my thoughts of seeing fathers around me. They don't think that same way. Well, that's their loss. That's their loss. There's so many cultural boundaries that makes people behave in a certain way that they do, including respecting their father for pretty much no reason. What has he done other than just bringing food, which is very important? But what effect and interactions have you had with your child? How have you really influenced him, and how from your heart you've been there for him or her? That is what the child needs. The food he eats. But even the ultimate respect that they give to their fathers and whatnot, that's not really from the heart. That's from the tradition. That's how it's supposed to be. So I have to be obedience and loyal to my father. But that's not from the heart. That's from the tradition point of view. But if you are the kind of father that I was talking about, you will have a best friend for life. You will be like two soldiers at any situation in life. You will be two best friends. You will be having each other's backs without asking. You will be able to communicate, help each other, and love each other from the heart, not from the force of tradition, or I have to comply with this because that's what a son is, or that's what a father is. Bullshit. Times have changed. You can't pretend you're God, you're a human being, and show that love. protection, friendship. Put out the mask. Take off the mask. Be the father that you want to be. Show emotions. And love your children. Play with them. Be there for them. Sacrifice yourself for them in more ways than one. Then you have understood the meaning of being a father. Otherwise, what's the difference between an animal going and procreating? Anyhow, that's what I have to say about that.